Kia ora ngā hoa mā. Welcome back to Mr. Ashley's Place. On today's episode we're going to be looking at how to use plain ordinary silicone out of a silicone caulking gun to make silicone molds, to cast old toys and replicate them making new toys. So if you're into that sort of thing, stick around and I'll see you in the video. Okay, kia ora guys. What we're going to be doing now is, you can see here that I've got just a plain old ice cream container filled with some warm water, and now what I'm going to do is add quite a bit of liquid soap. I've heard that the more liquid soap the better. So this is just a refill bag for the old liquid soap, so that's quite a bit. And it's important that I mix the soap in. I don't just let it settle at the bottom, because it needs to be really soapy. So I can feel that the water's very soapy, well lubricated, I suppose you'd say. And then all I'm going to do now is, this is where the main ingredient of what we're going to be doing. I'm making our mold. So this is a roof and gutter concrete highly flexible silicone sealant. Now it is a silicone sealant. It's important that you use a silicone sealant. What you've got to be sure of is that the sealant is 100% silicone. I've chosen this silicone in particular because it's got a wide temperature range in terms of its temperature change, so it goes from -50 to plus 150 degrees Celsius, and that's important for me because I'm going to be using hot glue in my mold. So you can see here, I'm just squeezing it out straight into the water. Now I don't have a caulking gun at the moment, so I'm just using a wooden stick to squirt this silicone out in. And you can see it looks like a bit like a worm. That's okay, that's exactly what I want it to do. Now, one of the advantages of making molds this way as opposed to two-part rubber compounds is that you don't have to worry about bubbles. Having said that though, you do have to, there is a bit more of a process, well, I suppose it's relative in terms of how you make your putty or your mold, but we're going to come to that in a second. So I'm just going to, okay, that's it, cool. So I'm just going to set that aside. Now you can see here it looks like udon noodles, I suppose. Now the whole point of it now is, I need to make my hands a bit soapy too. Actually, I've got some, let's set aside. So you want to make your hands soapy too. It's the same as if you're baking. You kind of grease your hands or put oil on your hands, or flour for that matter. And all I'm trying to do is I want to knead it together till I get like a putty like that. Okay. Now carefully read the instructions of any kind of silicone that you use. Some silicones are a mild skin irritant, especially for people with sensitive skin, so it's important that you know those things before you start working with the putty. But basically I'm just doing lots and lots of kneading, okay, until it's quite uniform, and I don't want the outside surface to be sticky. Now pushing my fingers in there, I can feel that it's not sticky anymore, and that's exactly where I want it to be. Okay, and it makes like a gelatinous blob, okay, and I can use that to do any impression that I want. So this is going to be our mold. Once it sets, then I'll be able to squirt hot glue in there to replicate whatever I'm making. So I'm just going to give it a bit more of a knead, and I'll come back when I do when I actually cast a mold. Okay, we're back, and you can see that I'm getting ready for the next stage of the process. I've already removed the figurine, okay, and what I did to do that and I should have showed you, but I was really keen and enthusiastic, you'll find that the outside of the mold is still a little bit tacky. If I'd left it overnight and it had made a proper, if it had set properly, it'd probably go quite hard on the outside. Not hard, but like not as tacky as it is at the moment. So what you can see here is I've cut a zigzag line in there, and that's going to help hold the mold hold itself together while I squirt the silicone in it. The hot glue in it. Okay, so there's the impression there on the inside. I just gently seal him back together. The other reason is you do that zigzag line, it fits together like a jigsaw piece, and you can see exactly that things are in the right place. And you can see here that I've got my 2 holes, and there's the round part where the foot plate was. Now, just want to see if my hot glue is ready yet. Yeah, it's pretty much there. Now, ideally, you want a hot glue gun with a long pointed nozzle on it, and the reason that is having that hot glue gun with a pointed nozzle on it means that you can really jam the hot glue gun nozzle into the mold and make a good casting. This hot glue gun is pretty standard. It's just got that cone-shaped nozzle, so let's hope for the best and see what happens. I'm just trying to get rid of all these stringy bits. It's not going to happen. Here we go. Okay, wish me luck. Here we go. So what I want to try and do first is I'm going to actually, I'm just going to squirt it down and see what happens. Okay, so I've got a big leg hole and a smaller leg hole, and I want the remnants to come out of the smaller leg hole. So I'm just going to stick the nozzle in there and really just pump that glue in until I see it start squirting out the other side. I'll run out of, this is the other thing too, you want to make sure that you've got enough. Okay, so I've really caned it with the old glue until it comes blobbing up the top, and that's exactly what I want it to do. So now I'm going to have to leave that to settle, and I'll come back in a little while and show you what's happened. So I've just gone over it with a little bit of red marker just to help make the detail stand out a bit more, because you can't really see the detail very well in this video. But I just wanted to show you, it's basically what I'm showing you is how easy it is to make a figurine using this method. So if we compare, she is missing her gun, but all in all, it's not a bad likeness. Okay, if I was to do a much simpler figurine, it would work a lot better. But yeah, the principle's there. I could still go and make another one if I wanted to from this mold. I could make a whole bunch of these and use them and melt them as part of a movie, using some kind of effect so that they turn back into hot glue or something like that. Or I could make a short film about cloning and then clone all these little people. But yeah, and the principle is there. I think it's a bit of a success. I'd definitely do this again in the future to make something else, and if I do something in particular, I'll show you what I make. But for now, if you like this video, thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, hit the subscribe button. Any other suggestions for the channel, please leave it in the comments below. And until next time, from us, ka kite anō, and I'll see you next time on Mr. Ashley's Place.